So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Prof Vusi kunjani? Hayi siyaphila. Hey, ungazuthuswa yilo msindo wami lo. Hey mina yabo ngisase nalo msindo wale ya youth yami leya esaseyincanyana. Manga nawe ngiyakubona ukuthi youth man.
Ngathi lo msindo wamapiano la.
Yayona manga ngiyakubona ukuthi hayi nawo sayibambile.
Ingoma yakhona mayidlala kudu iwindow liya rec ungazi ukuthi ungalibamba kancane.
Ulisize nje kuze kudlulele emoto. Otherwise, Prof Vusi kunjani?
Shabu kunjani lo?
Hey, no, just ngijabule kanjani ukuthi ube khona la. I mean, I think you remember ukuthi I called you, maybe it was last year, could have been around October when we started talking. Yeah, so for me to have you here finally, it's like, hey, ngathi ngiwini lotho.
Son.
Hey, sijabula ngathi ngibambi lotho, ngathi nginenyuku ebhala
bangi 3 numbers.
Hey, angazi 3 numbers ngicabanga ukuthi bengangijabulisa kanje. Kodwa hayi no ngijabulile man. But otherwise, how's everything?
No, good grand man Lulu. We're going on, with all the challenges, But it's always well,
Yeah.
That's ma umuntu ojwayele ukuphila esigangeni.
Yeah.
Sikhulele esigangeni thina.
Ish.
Sizinja zesiganga.
Yeah. So mojwayele, even when some of these things happen, it's like,
I mean, these things have been happening for years and years, It's just that this one, it's very hectic, It's very hectic, I mean, it's hitting everyone, globally. I'm talking to guys, serious guys, musicians that I know that, bona, life, it's like ukudonsa ngokoti. I was talking to Bagiti, the bass player, I'm sure you know.
Yes, Bagiti Khumalo.
And some guys that I know, musicians, they're like, hey man, it's really tough, Really tough.
So in Zimayokindao. So Prof Vusi, to the people, I don't think a lot, but to the people that don't know who Prof Vusi Khumalo is, ungazichaza kanjani kubona?
Okay, yes, I'm simple.
Yeah.
I'm simple like a symbol.
Or like a symbol. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was born in a township which was called Eastern Township, Native Township, which was not far from Melokunja, Ejozi. But in a Glen Roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, not far GP, Emaboni.
Ngiyayibona le Penrose.
Yeah, so ikasila khona befana nelokunja ne Sophia Town.
Okay.
Mabona nje Sophia Town. Sophia Town. And well, there was lots of things that were happening, shooting musically and sports. We had ilokunja by visa a Bantu social club corner lapho. So a hall which was not far from my house. I think it was like 4 houses from my house. And then Besobayi.
Okay.
Well, we had music for groups, top groups from all over South Africa. They would come there. You know why? Because it was a township that had Ilokunje electricity in the 60s.
Oh. Okay.
Unfortunately, opposite that
also Benny Abumak.
Yes.
Yo, okay.
So I grew up listening to a horn,
Yo.
Every day.
So it makes sense ke lama arrangements lawa oma horns iswazwane. Ukuthi kahle ukhula now.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And of course, angithi yazi makhulu abekhona nama scout. Yabona ama drum
majorette. Yes.
Yeah. So nakhona bekuyinto yakhona lapho bese kuba khona namabhaca. Amabhaca ubaba labo abathutha ama dustbin. Bebethutha ama dustbin bebeshaya iboots ne guitar.
Okay.
So it was a very musical township. And abo General Duze linye time ale guitar lakudala. From there you had politicians like abo Ulokunjo, Atile Tambo, Ulokunjo Pagasbongile. ukhabingoma, yeah. Lots of things that were happening there. And of course, as I say, that it had electricity in the township corner. So ukuba ne-radio, it was an easy thing to have a radio. It was more fashionable ukuba ne-radio. Indlu nendlu bene-radio, and abantu bakhona bebethanda i-jazz, bathanda music, all right. And of course, bekunendawo kusho ukuthi not far lapha, yazi i-Jeshko hostel. Yeah, Jeshko hostel bekunama amapali akhona umsakazo lo wamahhala. Yabona. So abantu music bebeuza mahhala nje, yabona.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we were moved '60s, you know, because of forceful removals, because of apartheid. Yeah, so we moved because they discovered that they were, you know, political groups that were forming up there, like PAC, ANC, So they actually understood about it later on. There's something that is happening. But then obviously they wouldn't tell us what yes, we know what was bas movement. Then bus spread again. Yeah, one is so way to abanye baye Roville, abanye baye Dube. You actually been spread according to our languages when.
Okay.
Yeah, Zulu section, Msutu. But abanye abantu they were lucky because Toluguti Mkambi Krupetis, they couldn't accommodate them in a certain place. Then one but not long. Mkambi, let's say about 100 people. And then so it becomes a struggle. It was more like a you know, traumatizing, you know, because abantu khula nabo next door awusababona. So there's no electricity. You don't know anybody there. But fortunately, my dad was from Soweto at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad was a saxophone player as well. You know, he played Nabo Chris McGregor. I don't know if you know Chris McGregor. Nabo Abo Winston Bazana Bonke. So for me, it was okay. I wouldn't say that younger artist 100%. You know, but indawo bengijwayele ukuthi ngiza eSoweto. Bengazi ukuthi mangize eSoweto ngiza emakhandleleni.
Sure. Usho ugese move.
Yeah, and where else mangiyale ekhaya la ngizalele khona kugogo. Ama-lights la.
Yeah.
Ijozi yabona into njengale. Yeah, so it was a bit traumatic, you know, because of that, and now you are surrounded by people that you don't know. And these guys, they want to know who you are, where
Sure.
I mean, so Mauya shop, it's a challenge. I mean, it's Mauya shop because
yeah.
You cross a bridge, yeah.
Sure. You bribe.
Yeah. So, but then, you know, music grew up in me because from the age of 5, I really loved music. In so much that spacegram, I was a spacegram.
Yeah, I know. I'm spacegram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we were like about James Smith, about about Aretha Franklin, you know, I mean, or Rulo Konja, who's the saxophone player. And now what would happen is, you know, I mean, I knew these songs because they were played every day. So, questions cut the way being turned to music na corner. Benglala ngapansi radio. Music. And imagine I see these people playing in there. So there's a favorite song engiyaziyo namanje ukuthi it was my favorite. And nasekhaya bebeyazi bebeyisi lokhunja imojo kaJomis. I've got my mojo working, baby. I'm sure yazi. So that song, it was my favorite song, and so much that makumele ngivaye ngesigele yabona ngisasemncane bengithi ngifuna lie to me angikwazi ukuphuma endlini ngaphethanga la to me. So endlini bebengigaya noba yini nje yabona isinomba bathi bavele bathi nayi la to me bayazi ngizoya esigele uma ngiphethe la
so hamba uyiphethe nje the whole time ngithi hamba lokhu uyiphethe nje esigele
ngizohamba nayo ngize ngibuye nayo lento ngazi ukuthi la to me ilento engincanywayo yabo so okay fine so wethu-ke yazi mose ukuzibhayizela ukuthi uthela isigele ngapha bathi isigele samaZulu ngapha yafunda but hayi kumele uye ngapha isigele samaXhosa ufika la bathi buyele emuva yabona into njengale yabona that's how we survived yabona until ama-76 you know, and then I met up with I wouldn't say with a cousin, somebody who knew my family. And this guy said, no, man, you know, because at that time, ngoba ngqale kuma-drum and jazz, yabona? Yeah, ngqale khona lapho. And then bengidlala isnare lapho. Ngidlala isnare. And then ngalokhunja improve to ilokhunja improve as ilokhunja as ilokhunja snare drama ngayodlala ibhikhulu. Yabona ibhikhulu?
Yeah.
Yes, ibhikhulu.
Yes.
More like a trumpet.
Yeah.
So, and I ended up being a first trumpet bugle, like a trumpet, playing high notes. And kwatholakala ukuthi itime lami seliyazi ukuthi ngidlala, you know, something like a trumpet or a bugle. Let me put it that way. And ngidlala ne-snare drum.
Yeah.
So ngiye-timeni le-rezi. Bengihamba ne-timer ngiyobloma nami mara i-timer ndingazi ukuthi ngiyadlala
until
one day bebenokuhamba yazi ilokhu nje lunch mose ama-musician bathi mana senikwazi bani ushaya ibhiya khona lapho
sure
azobuya futhi erezini bangishiya erezini bengishiya ngiherezise khona la kula madrama le timer leli yabo one day bangibhaqa yabo uthi hawu ndoda kanti uyakwazi udlala yabo just like that. Then, but later on, mangeleza elokhunje emfulo elona bathi uphe emfulo art center. Emfulo art center, and then I got exposed to the trumpet. You know why? I started playing trumpet. You know, just to check. But interest being a circle because I was really in love with my drumming. So I was in between. But drum lang dance impela kanti futhi uthi time lami because angithi bedlala ihorn bedlala but he was a baritone saxophone player. You know, my baritone saxophone player were very scarce in South Africa, so that's why he became popular because he bedlala instrument engajwayelekanga. So a time I think was happy ukuthi ngifuna ukudlala ilokhunja ihorn kanti no angifuni ukudlala ihorn ngifuna ukudlala
ama-drums
so well into yaselokishini yabona lento yaselokishini ithola ukuthi nifuna udlala mara anina equipment yabona into njengale thina masikhula bekhona ama-time uthola ukuthi itime lakhona ninama-taxi or umuntu one-store yabona uzo-approach-a ingwenye ezihloti kunathi yabona ukuthi hey man baba baba uNkosi or bani yabona thina sabafana yabona ama-band yabona mhlawumbe avume bamshaya avume ahamba ayithenga ama-instrument athenga ama-instrument ama-instrument akhona mefikile it's like hey it's like Christmas, you know, a serious Christmas, you know. Nobe qhaqha yabona amasha emabhoxini yonke lento so nizoreza mhlambe kwakhe lapho egarage yabona into njengale and then he'll be like buying amagwinya for nina ukuthi niya practice yabona into njengale yabo but into yakhona bekuwukuthi okay niya rehearse lapho kuye mhlambe kutholakale amagiginyana yabona ukuthi womshado nodlala emshadweni yabona udlala emshadweni amagigi bokumshado yabona especially nina enqalayo dlala emagigi nomshado yabona nadlala nje dlala elangeni abantu bambhekile la yabona
sure
no be distribute ukudla lapho yabona benikeza abantu kunokufika nje usestera phethe iplate nadlala lapho ufuna ukunikeza iplate lokudlala udlala
lokuphethe ama-sticks
uzibona yazi abeka iplate la ekulokhunja ku-side drum so awusakwazi ukudlala le-side drum
ngoba sekuneplate
yabona into enjengale
so
now okay fine we did that but now yazi honesty enye into emuntwini yabo uzohlangana mhlambe nelinye time alithola ukuthi hey labafana bababa laba
yabo bayashisa
ale time alithi mina nganibhayela ama-instruments angcono kudlala
sure bese from lapho seshayile
senyamshiya lo
no turn it off manje i-business injalo
ihlangana nomunye niyamjinda lona lona umtholile hey bana lo muntu lona okay mhlambe unama-taxi mhlambe uyabona ukuthi uphethe imali unama-taxi and all that and what would happen is that abanye ke bane-show off yabona njengoba niyibhendi kanje mhlambe senidlala emahholweni manje amaholonyana mhlambe nidlalile ilokhunja i-beauty contest yabona njengelelo manje idlala istage awufuna ukuzoma abambe i-amp kanje
ubona ngathi uthi ibhendi yami ibhendi yami impela zami
and kathi sibabiza ama-manager yabo
okay
ngijabula kabi ubiza i-manager
but it's quite interesting yonke le history for mina ibalulekile but also what's weird is that there was a sense of community that I think we are lacking right now because I mean benikwazi ukuthi niye kuma-businessmen who were business people in the area bakwazi ukuthi basupport le craft eniyenzayo
exactly
which is very strange right now because we don't have that now.
No, we don't have that and I'm actually coming back to that when we do our interviews today most of the successful musicians who've been in the States or whatever it's very rare umuntu athi hey yazi ngibonga ubradeza if angazange angithengele i-drum kit ngaba zange ngibeyile into engiyiyo yabona you all want to talk about all these people that are big hey I think Brahu was not there at that
time. When you were starting true
yes he has contributed as well now but there's that David who actually sacrificed his family
income
ukuthi athengele wena ama-drum ukuthi uyodlala la you understand that so that's what we're lacking actually thina as ama-musician I'm being honest
no that's the truth
you never hear a musician saying that hey bra boy ngathi ngifuna erezini nginganamali ngaya kuye ngathi ebrapisa yazi anginanyo and then akaye maybe 10 rand or 20 rand ukuthi uhambe erezi and the floor resal oya kuyo uzo end up mhlawumbe uthole 1000 rand kwesikhathi awusayibuyiseli nalo
10 rand uhambe nayo
and akana problem ujabule nje ukuthi le ntwana le
and uzokusiza futhi next time
and kusasa meke kubona TV ehleli namanye ama-frotmane ephuza ibhiya yakhe yabona sokhulile udlala metshela athi le ntwana ngiyayazi mina ngayikhaya bathi engazokhuluma manga wena
ngoba acknowledge
or sometime wena wenza interview ku TV bahleli lapha so khuluma ukuthi I think Paul McCartney amagama
amakhulu name dropping sure
khona Frotmane ngayithola mhlawumbe ine-10 rand yokugcina esikwa ngayiphotha uyayibona lo nto leyo
sorry
so those are the things mina ngibona ukuthi as people we lack mina ngazi because there's so many musicians engidlale nabo besase young I can quote them abo Juliet, abo Bani, abo Slayelo. We used to teach them elokunje fuba. You understand that? Including Ulokunja, Moses Mlele. Moses wathathwa yithi nabo bakithi ukuthatha udlala nathi no Brahu. You understand? And ngaleso sikhathi sibizwe heavy ngoba kade ethanda heavy enkomo.
Okay Yeah.
But some of those musicians, you never hear a person saying, hey, you know what, I came to Joburg because of this guy. You understand what?
And it's important for the history.
Yeah.
I was saying ukuthi ibalulekile for a history because we need to be able to connect the dots, you know. So sometimes, you know, when people,
yeah, because you know, no man is an island, my brother.
True.
Yeah.
No, ngiyakuzwa Bravos. Enye into ebengifisa ukuyazi la ukuthi idondo mayizoqala, how did it start? I mean, for me, I remember, you know, the days of listening to Dondo. I used to just connect the kids, you know, and play all the songs, you know, just back to back. You know, play this one, next day, play this one, next day, play, you know. But for me, there was something very, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I don't know if it's spiritual or it's what, but it's there's emotions that you get between each song. So you'd hear this one and you play with it, but you'd hear with there's it's like, I think the people that were playing here, they were putting all their emotions into making this project, you know. So I'm interested in knowing Gucci then how nitholana kanjani nalamanye amakhotman.
No, Itondo, what happened is that I had a band long time which was called Iteta. You know,
if you know. Yes.
Iteta. Bekuyimi, Bagiti, Lawrence Machiza, then Makaya on percussion, no Pushi Siahlulu, no Wings Sikhale, the singer. That was in the 80s. And what happened is that those days, you know, we were like a backing band for Abochoy, you know, all this. But the band was seriously fireworks.
You know,
because we listened to about Jacob Pastorius, you know, so we were mimicking all these people. That's why even I'm a phrase, let's check each and every phrase, a musician, whether it's Michael Brecker or George Benson. If yakhula besingamane sihlale siyi5 sikubonise ukuthi la malines ahamba yawuthola lonto leyo yabo. Why? Because we were doing ama clubs those days, you know, ama clubs, you know, where you play cover versions, like Oboluda and all that. In so much that we played in lots of colored clubs, clubs, you know, like Recha Park, El Dorado, bekunama clubs zonke nasedrobheni. Let's say Forsberg, kunama club kulapho khona ama-Indians nama-Colored. And we're playing almost every day, you know, unlike now. We're playing almost every day, maybe from Tuesday to Colored, but you know, ifan yabazi.
Sure.
Now we play from Tuesday up to Friday or Saturday or Sunday. Every night you're playing different clubs. So instead of ukuthi basibiza ukuthi sithetha besibiza ngevibe bathi teta, you know, teta.
Teta.
Tela double. Why? Because behlala ngithi wonke lama cover versions besenza show ukuthi hey man, it sound like a radio, you know, like almost like you're on a longoma le.
Sure.
So that thing it grew up in our DNA of music. You know why? Because when you do that, it means it's more like a training, like a school in because overseas banukudala nje mhlambe ingoma ka Coltrane badlale mhlambe Giant Steps yabona bathi funda le ngoma le uzoyifunda kanjani, but no uzoyifunda kanjani because it means kumele uthole ilona i-real book mhlambe enawo la ngeke uzithole nama solos yabona. Mhlawumbe izokubonisa ingoma but isolo kumele uzifundele yona wena. So uzifundela ngani?
Ngendlela.
Yabona. Uyayithola lonto le. So that actually improved our hearing ukwenza into njengaleyo. So we started from yabona about Korea, you know, R&B yabona. So konke lokho kade kwenzakala, that's what made us to be what we are today. So I remember because ngama 80s mina nobakithi Graceland no Paul Simon. right? We're the first guys to do Ilokunja Graceland, to be on the studio of Paul Simon. There's stories that happened. We're not going to touch that.
Hey, we can. We can.
No, okay, I'll tell you an experience.
Okay.
When we, Ubraka, Koloi
Nyamkumbul, yeah.
Yeah, Ubrakoloi. Ubrakoloi was, how can I say, we're more attached to him because Ubrakoloi had a, hearing yake, it was, unbelievable hearing yake. Because why nobody mistake. I'm sure I'm sure the way hearing yake being a so musically, you don't want to bong even nangama harmonies.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of sessions for Brakoloi. And then there's a group that we did recording yabo babiza angazo yazi tayo ya tayo ya matsecha yeah Selisut. Yeah, but that group we recorded a song which was very big like that. So what happens is that when Paul came to South Africa, met no kunjukanje sakutshela ukuthi ubani bekuyi-manager yejuluka ngaleso sikhathi iband babebiza ijuluka yeah Johnny Clegg yeah so the guy came into the studio no Brakoloi. So those were the guys who were actually producing Ilokunja album.
Yeah.
So mina no bakithi sibizwe uBrakoloi. Because Brakoloi Tibetina would hey, so we get into the studio. Okay, I see this short man, and then the engineers there, white guy, but he came with his own engineer in the studio. Okay, all right. Okay, now since how many to see since ingoma esayenza nale group le suit itaya yeah, and then accordion, the guy who's playing accordion, it's the same guy, Loa Silsuit.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, see that Luias Lengoma, that's yeah, it's a good song in South Africa. It boys in the Bible, and as it was a big song.
Yeah, it's another era.
Yeah. So Masiloko siyenza le ngoma siyenza the basic structure esisaziyo lesisuit.
Okay.
Okay, now what happened is that it became tighter because Mina no Bagethi were playing all kinds of music. We were playing fusion and all that. For us, the studio it was like a drop in the water. Ubasi studio.
Yeah.
So now, okay, masiloko siyenza kanje lo babuyayazi lo. So kwe ukuthi uPaul uthi no man, this song it sounds nice, but I need a bridge. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to have something different, because manje it's ingoma straight engayindawo, yabo.
Sure.
Yeah, it's all a lot to So the only person that who was supposed to explain that it was Lokonjo Brakoloi.
Okay.
Because as this guy he's talking in English, obviously this old man, he doesn't understand what's going on.
Sure. Yeah.
So Brakoloi ati ndate bari babatla bridge.
Yeah.
Ato baba bridge ya yini kena kai bridge ati no ndate
yeah
uthi ndate bari babatla ijiki ari kujike ke hey kade is getting uptight this guy
yeah
and uyazi ukuthi labantu abahamba ngenduku yeah that's the culture like amaZulu.
Sure.
That's what they say. Plus, I need a studio. German for my headphones. Umuntu bekhulumela ngale kulela room. umuzi ungazuthi ula.
Yeah.
They said, hey, the khates ke go lena. La uri ke tla mo kenya molao. Ara eta. Oh, Paul, okay, what's going on, man? What's going on? But no, don't worry.
It's okay. Ziyathuma.
Hey, dog. Hey, kwasukuthuli la.
Yo, yeah.
Hey, dog. Hey, I want you to know, no, start a break. No, start a break.
Yeah. Hey, ubabudiniwe.
Yeah.
Ngithi ubabudiniwe leso sikhathi, ubaba umsuthu udiniwe.
Hayi, udiniwa, uziyajuluka. Kwathiwa I know asithathe break yabo. Basithathe break ke ba organize ile ukudla ke lapho ukuthi okay, so obviously I think Paul he was really interested in me. Hey, these young boys, you know, I mean, he started, hey, you guys sounding good, man. You know, I say, I want to say, more like a what do you call this? In the let me put it there.
Restaurant or
not a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Inside the studio, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, like a kitchen. More like a lounge or something like that.
Okay.
You know? So he started saying, hey, man, you guys are sounding great, man. You know. Best I think, hey, you remind me of Steve Cat. Hey, manga, it's a Steve Cat in the title.
Okay,
because I was doing already, me and Bagiti were doing sessions. I think we're the one of the first young from the younger generation abantu kade berekhoda naBelungu.
Okay.
Inhlence yakhona sayithola ngenye indlela abantu berekhoda egalo thina sirekhoda estudio zaBelungu sibizwa lapho because sithole a liberal a white guy who liked us. So we were even getting better money than people about the record egalo.
It could be
5 rand or 10 rand. It's told I'm sure 25 rand per side.
Yeah.
25 rand per side. So I was under the impression that this guy maybe is from Hillbrook. You know, he looks like one of these guys is recording us.
Yeah.
So I'm very relaxed. Yeah, man. I tell you, so what's your name? Paul. I'm Paul. Yeah, one of met Paul.
Yeah, banning about Paul. Yeah.
Banning about Paul.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, you guys are sounding great. My band is Richard T. Amazo Richard T, the piano player.
No.
Yeah, great piano player. He recorded Nabo Grover Washington.
Okay.
I mean, we knew the guy. What?
Piano player. Yeah.
That's my band. Steve Gadd. Hey, me tell you what. I'm in current band interest. I want to take my questions. Do you know a song, Bridge Over Troubled Water? That is my song. I'm pleased. No, that's Aretha's song.
Yeah.
No, it's my song. No, that's Aretha Franklin's song.
Yeah.
But yes, I told her, but I Tina, Sikula Uguti. Yeah,
sure.
The culture that we had in South Africa, you cannot just take somebody's song and sing it.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
We didn't know that there's arrangements that are done by two companies.
Sure.
Which, you can go and record there.
As a cover,
you understand that. But your rights are. Because you sang on that song, you get a royalty, I mean, we never had those kind of things. But then Master was called come and told Gutama, this guy is not from here. You understand?
Yeah,
it happened. So what I'm saying is that we grew up, playing with different musicians. I mean, Abo Joy, Abo Maralo, you can name them. Abo Apikeli, Bonke. We used to back those people, but Tina as a band, not to be Snuguzenzela, because we once had a hit, and by default, Nakoni hit Yakona, because we sing a commercial music.
Okay.
Sister Bones, fusion.
Yeah.
And abantu benga understand the fusion. Badlala abantu bakwata yabo.
Bafuna ama hits.
Khumbula sadlala ejabulana omunye umuntu basiqeda ukudlala nice ending yabona.
Yeah.
Ngezo umuntu athi seniqedile ukusela lapho.
Wabona kahle ukuthi hey yeah I actually had a similar story omunye ubaba uthi hey bafika badlala sebekude nesethi yabo kweza umntana some guy uDr Mdluli was telling me saying ukuthi they got to a wedding to play so almost towards the end of their set you know bathumela umntana omncane uyafika uyabahwatha lapho uthi baba sengiyaqala yeah uthi baba sengiyaqala ngoba hayi bavele babona ukuthi ayisebenzi lento bavele baya kuma cover trial
mina ngikhuluma ngedaba maniqeda udlala nje nice line ehambayo yabona efusion manivala ne-tight ngoba sasi-rehearsa like for hours and hours to check these lines and all that so masiqeda udlala enomuntu umelapha ejabulani elokhunje i-audience yabona ukuthi aba-understand ukuthi besenzana abashaye nezandla mhlawumbe kushaye yabona about 5 or 10 people omunye uthi hey niqedile ukusitela lapha phela ngithi ukusitela bathi ukuthula la
yeah yes hey
after that then the real artist uzongena ke mhlawumbe lo artist ukuthi uyaziwa basiqala sidlala ke then ke abantu baphakama ke but we didn't care about that we knew where are we going as musicians so what is happening now that the music that other musicians or younger jazz musicians are playing fusion or whatever we started that thing before but
a long time
we are not given a chance yokuthi abantu basilalele ngaleso sikhathi I think we were too advanced for this less
which
because even ama lines masifuna checker I remember because technology was not advanced so what we do is if the line is too complicated and it's too fast we cannot hear it and obviously ngaleso sikhathi bekusa lokushini besetshenziswa amakhandlela so into beyuzwa for ama radio bekwama battery
okay
nama PM10 if you was about PM10
yeah
exposing my age now
hey bonke labantu abazobabhekela yintwana so nazo sizomangela ama PM10
ama PM10 ama battery akhona ama battery afakwa emva kwe spectrum or whatever or radio leyo so nama battery la anokuflata uyayithola
sure
bebe flat lama battery the way technology abodaki bayithanda befoster ngayo ngakhona abanye abantu bebethi mangabe uletele battery leli and then unama battery afletile mhlambe i3 or 4 beke wa connector wonke lama battery la
awu
irate zokhaya
no uyagazatha
yabona illegal
connection isuka kude lesibonayo manje njengoba siyibona manje legal connection manje akusiyo
mari leke be personal yama battery wakho yabona so but ke thina
no it's fine Kurt
ngithi but then we discovered ukuthi okay i-battery my flat so obviously battery my flat mawudlala ilokhunje record ama izongango
sure senwezwa kahle ke lama line senwezwa kahle ke lama line
la fast la awasaphumi yabona that no man yes
iyazwakala le line
hayi ke lokuthola lama line
asifaki lama battery flat
no. So ama lines bese wa check and then from there mase wa understand ake esto adlala mtodaro dadu bodo pake gogo pado whatever yabona mase so mase idlala na le line asoyitholile manje ngendlela slow uyabona so manje uzama ukudlala faster.
Yeah.
And that's the trick of learning any phrase. You know, but omunye umuntu, I don't know what is going on. Mhlambe ke abanye abantu ba-advance ukudlula thina. Yabona. Sengisho ukuthi ukufunda i-line, it's better to play it slowly.
Yeah.
Slowly. And that's how life it is, you know. Nomntwana meke khula akamane nje agijima afane no Zolaphat or whatever.
Yeah.
Uyacathuza. So that's how we learned our line.
So the move now from okay, bands. So I take it also, listening to your story, is that you are also opening for main artists. Before Bazorgenabon, you come in and you play, and then the main artists would then come and play in the same gig. So what I want to get now, the move from Ubrabagiti, UPK to Abo Brafana, and now the formation of Itondo. Was it moving from Vele, the band that was Teta, to now you deciding to say, okay, guys, let's call this Tondo?
No, what I'm trying to, show you just a little bit of a journey of how
evolution
have been connected.
Yeah.
So Ufana stayed not far from Lokunjo Bagiti.
So
okay. Bagiti Ufana was understudied Gafana as a bass player.
Okay, yeah.
They never stayed from each other's far from each other.
Okay.
So and impilo besiphila le ukuthi yazi makusakhula ayikho into enenzayo ukuhlalela igatari uyabona mabe niyankawuza whatever. If there's chicks moving around, hello,
yeah, sure.
So but then as nikhula njengoba ngisho ngithi masikhula thina sinofana mina nokufana no Makhaya. Then we got the opportunity then of working with Paul. We are estates. So Master Speaker States, we met up Urepi Rebecca. No, Sakhumbulu ubani kade khona futhi. Sasambe no Lawrence futhi ngiyakhumbula.
Machis.
Yeah, Machis. So when we arrived where we were supposed to do a gig, one of these big TV shows like Lega, one Los Estates, man, the comedian.
Oh yeah, no, Trevor Noah.
You know, a gig like that, because those kind of shows, that's where you launch yourself there, big time, because it's like a big thing, national.
Yeah.
So you play live in those gigs. So we played in one of I think it was a Johnny Castle show. So masifika kulo gig leyo kwaziwa ngoba safika ukuthi after ama trips besesiwayenzile ukuqedelela i-recording yonke lento le. So sifika manje the song is bigger than us now. The song is bigger than us. People are they are actually asking for autographs. And as we talk about autographs, it's based South Africa.
Sure. Yeah.
But then we learned, when we call into autograph, we to sign and all that. Right. And in that gig, fortunately, Nathan East was there.
Okay.
No Greg Fillingens, the keyboard player. No Steve Foreign drama. And then based on Quincy Jones.
Okay.
Based on Quincy Jones, gig there. And there was what do you call this? Okay. They were doing the album. You remember the album Michael Jackson, Bad.
Yeah. Bad. I'm bad. Yeah.
They were doing that album at that time more. You understand? Tina, we are already on the serious hype, with this album hitting the whole world. In New York is like now nobody in the toilet who's at the place there. So now when we met Ulokunja or Nathan East, or after a gig, Nathan East, they came to us. Hey guys, how are you? hey, I'm Nathan, and Nathan ngaleso sikhathi bisimazi mari not really, but
sure.
if you know a musician, a good musician, you immediately niyaclika, you connect quickly, and then we sat down, and then when we sat down and they started talking, about other musicians that we know and all that, and as we're talking, we just understood, hey man, we are actually sitting with the right guys here, and then we started talking about phrases now, phrases, hey man, Kuja, Spain, let's go, Chicoria, ulokhunja ubakithathi no ithi ngolande base
sure
uletheli la Nathan East ayi adala ubakitha aqala adlala abo Jacob Pastoras bathi man yabona baqala bathi lamachita la bathi nizaselaphi lezi sazicheka lezi zinto but awu nisicheka sithi no music yethu sayithola ekhaya so that's what we play yabona just to check yabona so i-relationship yaqala lapho that's why Nathan or Heavy Manson mifika la simnandi yabo. So what I'm saying is that that influence of playing that kind of music and playing different kind of music yiyo le esenze ukuthi sibe matured music. So when we did idondo iqhamuka after been saying ngihlukene nokudlala noBrahiwe at that time.
Okay.
I then formed idondo ufana bekhona. We were playing no Morris Goldberg. Morris Goldberg.
I just know the name.
Yeah. Old dopey from here, uhlala in New York khona manje. Okay. I know noBrahiwe. Yeah, Morris Goldberg. So Morris begeza la South Africa because he's a South African. Begevela bize mina, and then hey, who can we get? I choose Ufana at that time because Obobagithi bebesele noBrahiwe at that time.
Okay. So weird. Okay.
Ngalanda Ufana and then ngalanda noJim. uJim asasomxhaka futhi uJim Ihluzi. Ngalanda yena. Yabona ukuthi sizokhona lapho yabona.
Yeah.
All right, sharp. So that's how Dondo was formed. Okay. And then it after isikhathi ulokhonja uMoses Mlelekwa wajoin idondo.
Okay.
Moses, the piano player, joined idondo, and then Okaya wajoin idondo. Then Max wazongikhalela nawe ngathi woza sadlala ezidondo ke manje.
Okay.
Sidlala emaclubini ku baseline yabona into enjengale. But then later on uMoses wathola recording
deal
with Ilokunja, what do you call this? Mel 2000. But at that time it was PM. I'll tell you. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
But Mel 2000, right? So Moses ke asicela ukuthi no siyomnceda kuyilokunja kwi-album yakhe, the first album. Finding oneself, right?
Yeah.
So we helped Moses ukuthi siyenze album yakhe kwathola ukuthi manje yabona izinto ziyashifta yabona ziyashifta yabona sidlala nabantu aba different now usongena uThemba no idondo ikhona, but now usisibusi Mhlongo gets ilokhunja iband yethu nabofana no guys ngicela ningihelp ukuthi sihambe siya ilokhunja eEurope ngenze tour yimi uThemba ufana Max uJonathan nobani uLouis Mhlanga nobani futhi some guys naye ilokhunja unobathu bani lomfana lo uMax Mtambo naye khona lapho. Sahamba ke saya khona ke elokhunja eEurope size, and that's how I got my contract of recording my first album. Ngikuloto.
Okay.
Nami ngithola nje call nje from esibhakabhakeni ukuthi hey, we want you. Yabona we want you for what?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, man. We had your music, man, in the studio. Can you come? Plus ngicabangela ukuthi labantu laba yabo. Ngempela bangithengela itikiti ngise eLokhunja eNetherlands. Ngihambe ngiye eLokhunjini eLondon. Mangifike eLondon out uLokhunja Russell Hayman was the producer ka Bheki Msele. Bheki Msele the piano player.
Yes.
But we knew each other, mina no Russell. Russell angijabulele ungilanda ngemoto. Hey man, you know what? I was listening to so many demo tapes here, man. They don't make sense, you know, to me, you know. But your songs, man, hey, kanjalo, yeah. Then we discussed everything. The chairman of the company was there. Fortunately, knew me. I was hey man, this guy is crazy about music. That's when he came up with suggestions of getting iLokhunja by incognito, to be part of the album, you know. And I was, hey, what?
Game changer.
I said, bring it on, man. Bring it on. So masibuyela ekhaya after ithoka kasis Vusi. I then rehearsed with the guys, and then we went back to London to record my album. Peter Gabriel Peter Gabriel Real World Studios, and it was great, man. I had great musicians, you know, from all over iLokhunja, Irekere, you know Irekere from Cuba, Chucho Valdez, yeah, you know Chucho Valdez. Fortunately, the umuntu bengingadlala naye, so ngamcela even before siyalapha, can you please bring your horn players? I would like to work with them. So he was very happy, you know, to bring them in the studio. So that's how it happened. So, okay, fine. That chapter again, it went on, which was, you know, up to iLokhunja, backstage, bathatha their track by user corner lab. And then later on, after singing Zelo album, a lot of companies like South Africa, they were approaching me with, hey man, hey, we want to record you. And I'm like, hey, you guys, ngithatha kanjani man? Anginana le budget ngifuna ukungirecorda, ngizorecorda ngani?
Yeah. Ngoba irecording ufuna budget.
Ngazi budget strong, hayi ama-pound, hayi ama-rand.
I shall exchange.
So like, hey man, hey, they were on my neck. Hey man, nithi manje budget khuluma nge-200,000 ngithi nkosi yami ishintshi mosle. Yabona? Ishintshile, yabona? Hayi ngithule ngithi, but okay, what can I do with this change? Yabona? Ngithi kubo. Phela ngangishaya budget strong.
Sure, yeah.
Budget. Yeah, strong. So ngithi kulabantu ngithi igalo. Khona iyawuthi bathi uSepho lapha. Angilandele man bro Vusi. Angithi this guy is nagging me. It's okay, Sepho. So what is the budget? That's 200. Ngithi yenze 300,000. I thought okay, sizayipusha ke sizayipusha. Ngithi okay, let imali. Ngempela ngaleso sikhathi bekuyimi nobakithi. Yabo uLokhunja ufana yabo.
Yeah.
And ukuthola ukuthi uLawrence ngaleso sikhathi kulesikhathi exabane noRingo yabo. After first album kaRingo.
Yeah.
Eyakhale kimi ukuthi efondini ngithi manje zwakala manje yabo. Ngempela qale siye lapha kwakho uLawrence ngoba yet iLokhunja indawonyana yokusebenza lapha yabo.
Yana set up, yeah.
To set up, you know, demo nyana. Angibiyela sibamba ama-keyboards lapha. Hey, dala ama-keyboards na. Sure. I know, I seen you. I see it just one day. That's how it started it all. Okay. And then from there, we ended up a studio. Nakhona a studio. Ngicela lo mfana lo uLebu. Yabo. Ngoba ngihlangane naye eLokhunja eLondon ngithi ndoda hlangane gigi yabo eLondon yabo emtshana yabo wavele ngikhula naye Lebu yabo angithi bengisangazi ukuthi une-new and ngiyazi ukuthi nami ngeke ngamgayi iLokhunja i-support lesikhathi angananyungu
sure.
sometimes ngihlangana naye States ubona ukuthi hey
ziyaduma, yeah.
Yazi makubhetha uthi hey man kuyabhetha uvela awuthi ngeke nje khona la yabo.
Sure.
Emnandi yabo.
Yeah.
So njengoba ngibona ninyuku ngithi kusemona busy doing athi hey man ngisebenza negalo kusho yena. Sebenza negalo and I'm taking over galo man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, China,
yeah.
Okay. Ngithi man ofaka imali lapho ngothi taking over galo.
Yeah, let's take over.
No problem. Masibuya kanti siye studio. First time siye studio. Asingene studio. Ngikhulume naye ukuthi uze lapha edowntown. Yabo. Hayi awuthami inyamalele manje ayisatholakala no Chico uyamfuna ngapha. I don't know what's going on. Ngithi jenza siqhubekeni thina. Ikhona inyuku musi. Unyana yabo.
Yeah.
Asaqhubeka khona lapho. Hey man, but it was a serious challenge. It was a serious challenge. Ngoba lo mali le yaphela singakayenzi I'm sure ngazi ningome ngathi mhlambe 6 songs. Iphela ngoba phela yasetshenzwe studio yabo. It's live. Yabo.
And also because you are perfectionists, so it's gonna take a bit longer.
Exactly. We yabo. And fortunately ilokhunja engineer besebenza nayo ulokhunja uJasper is a very very good engineer.
Ngiyamazi uJasper.
Yeah. So he was that kind of guy with no man, let's try the sound, let's try that one. And anyway, mina ngijwayele ukuhlala e-studio for a long time ungabhekani ubheka isikhathi ukuthi hey manje ucima amakhandlela azocima amakhandlela
yeah
electricity
yeah sure
okay sayitshona album sastopa yabona ibudget ayisekho manje kwamele ukuthi ngikhulume nale out le vivi out yami Maria isiqhomani nje uloku yaqhoma yeah man hey man no brother out shanga slow down out le man okay sharp manje senza kanjani no man I'm going to New York when I come back
yeah
hey man lona man hey sama zange hlangana into yakho azange hlangana yakhona sahamba sayokhuluma isilungu lapha egalo etshela labantu ukuthi no you must give this guy's money you know Vusi Khumalo I grew up with him you must hear his album yabona ngithi mina lo muntu lo upressa yabona uyapress ukuthi no inyuku ikho ingene
yabona
eqeda lapha esathi no man I'm going to Germany ngisho yo slow down this
yeah
gcineke manje sesiyikhulumela ke manje yabo siyikhulumela mase sikhulumela out yami nayo senza izinto ezisnacks yabo sefuna ukuthi basivale khona la abantu ama politics between yena noSipho Sithole yabona noSipho Sithole later on he wants to produce here I'm like what do you producer yabona
sure
okay waba nekwalo uSipho yabona anginamdaba ngimsabi vivi waba nekwalo yabona ukuthi ngoba ngangifuna imali yabo siya e-festival eCape Town so we know that we have a budget told a lot for publicity and all that so we could actually take maybe even if it's 100,000 or whatever from that budget but in order to get to access that budget you have to speak to him ngoba uyemakhulu basi ngaleso sikhathi yayithola yemona awufaka inyuku yabo hey kodwa madoda yabo awuthi le ifaka imali indoda manje ifaka imali yabo yabona ukuthi ngibona ukuthi olo ubhizi nale ntombazana yakhe le ulokhunju la kade recorda naye angazi ngibize ngegama ngifuna
ukubiza no asingayibizi
yazi
asingayibizi asingayibizi ngiyayazi
so ngibona ukuthi inyuku yethu ngathi yala yabona but ke dala ngiphila yafrustan nomfowethu and intwana lo muntu ku showbiz so but ke anginandaba naye ngifuna imali yabo
sure
ale ngihambe ngikhuluma nelokhunja but one ukhoni was I'll tell you his name Ukhoni Malusi He was a CEO ye Jonik. And Jonik yibo abaphethe igalo.
Yeah.
Ngiyokhuluma nale out. Mina phela ngazi abantu abahlodi yabo.
Sure.
Nale out. Khoni athi VK ngithe man ribahla chelete man. Mutho mthako yabona. Phela ubele out yawo ribahla chelete.
Yeah.
Ngithe man siyahamba Cape Town. Cape Town. Kuyadlala athi man ngitshela ninikeza imali lo muntu ngizomtshela khona manje. Yabo. Uma ngivale. Ayi mangihamba awukusasa ubamba ifoni. Khumalo. Hawu ndoda wenza kanjani ukuthi uhambe uyokhuluma noko ngithi bofuna ngenze ngithi bofuna ngenze angithi ngikhulumile nawe wathi ngifuna imali wathi imali ayikho ngase sethi hayi no uze kusasa uzayithola imali beyithatha isikhathi ukuthi iphume la ngathi uze kusasa uzothatha imali
seyikhona
sahamba soyithatha imali sahamba because I was taking a big band to Cape Town Jazz Festival. And Bella, we kicked ass when we got there. Everybody, even the Americans, they were like, what these guys? All right. After that, I knew Gucci gig Elona, but their gig we were young Elona Namibia.
Okay.
So, not it's not been a bad. Because it don't cut Namibia. So it was a a nice way of
introducing.
So sabe ke nelokhunja nedondo abo Lawrence sadlala ke khona lapha. Already I had actually instructed ilokhunja abantu basegalo including ngoba ngithi bese kusawa azange ngikhulume naye but in passing wayizwe indaba khona kuthi ebafuthi angithi yakhuluma khona lapha yabona ema-office bafethu siyahamba siya elokhunja eNamibia. So if yenzakala ukuthi kuma awards kuma summer awards idondo iyawina lapho sicela nisithatheleni ilokhunja yabona i-award yabona kwabenza ukuthi no sharp sivaye ke siyele kusho ukuthi after ilokhunja igig yase Cape Town le ntazinga i-festival we then did our gigs at Cape Town and then from there immediately masibuya sahamba saye elokhunja Namibia sadlale eNamibia on stage we got a call sisadlala on stage ukuthi kwazi umuntu wazo-announce ukuthi hey the group that is playing here they just won an award for ilokhunja best contemporary jazz album. Ngakusasa ekuseni ngifonela la ekhaya ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi hey man now what happened ngoba zange sibone ukuthi kwenzakalani but ba-announcile lapha ukuthi hey award akekho umuntu othathe award akekho umuntu othathe bekhona lapho uSithole ekhona ehleli yes ehleli mabethi squatter camp naye beshaya marathon ayogijima ayolanda ama-awards angithi ngayibona i-report yakhona yabona and okay all right sabuya masibuya ngiyaya lapha ngihamba noLawrence yabo sifike egalo kusekwenzani bajabulile bathi yabona manje i-album njengoba iphumile seyithole i-award kusho ukuthi hayi siyapompa ke manje yabona yabona ama-gig nani promo what yabona ndoda indoda yashalaza lapha mayisibheka isikhathi nokuthi umuntu athi bafuthi hey ngiyanibongela hey yazi izolo or whatever yabo hayi no yashalaza mache Lawrence ngathi this is bullshit man I can't take this shit this language man this language I can't take this nonsense yabo mina ngeke ngizogwashiswa enye indoda no ngathi we are packing up now ngoba ngibona ukuthi yabona somebody is trying to be a gatekeeper. He is a gatekeeper anyway. You understand? And that's how Dondo was killed by this guy. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But ungavale ema-shop kodwa music uhlala ezindlini zabantu
nasenhlizweni
yabo. So even namanje iDonda abantu basayithanda besikhuluma noLawrence now lately ngithe ndoda khona inye friend yami bathu Badela eSoweto hey man, I want you guys to come and play at my place. That's about much it up I want to do, so you can name them KB. It's a nice place, yeah, but I want to talk. Yeah, two way as it as soon as backland, Lawrence backland, as soon as backland will come and perform there. And we spoke not long ago. And it was like, yeah, hey, let's do it. No, man, let's do a live album. And that's all. We're going to find out. I'm telling you, I'm losing.
Yeah. So no, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. So basically, you are saying to us right now, and I'm sure it's going to be the first time most people hear it. Uguti itondo ngasikdala. We are going to see something again from Tondo, a live thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No, that is very exciting. My next question is, and there's a lot of other questions that I'm going to throw your way because the bang to me and I'm banging my questions up high. But no, I was up for Vusi. But before we go, I'm
sure.
Yeah. So are you ever gonna work on writing a book? Because I think I was just going through your bio, reading it. I mean, I got a whole lot of emotions, just feeling it. It was as if I was there with you when you heard. But there's one thing, there's a thing that I'd like to read out that I read there. That I felt I think it's worth mentioning. It says, ever since I can remember, music has been an accompaniment to my life. It would be impossible for me to even try to conceptualize a world without music. If you have a natural aptitude and appreciation for it, then music simply draws you to it and connects. So when I was just reading that whole thing, and I mean, I just took one piece, but I was reading like a whole lot of these things. I mean, from where you're talking about your childhood, to all of those things, to where you talk about Abo Pravik Tantoni and the drama that was your mentor that you looked up to. For me, it was almost as if I was watching it, reading it. So I'm just wondering, Guti, have you ever thought about maybe writing a book that depicts all these things? And I mean, even now, what you are telling us in all of these things sound like things that should be documented, whether through a book or a documentary. Is there anything that you are working on as far as preserving all of that?
No, truly. To be honest, I'll be really compromising myself if I don't do that, because I've been through, highs and lows of industry and life as well. I've had a share of my challenges as a person. To understand what I'm saying? Because when people hear about musicians, they think that they are living a glamorous life only. We are not immune to challenges of life. To understand what I'm saying? So yes, I would love to do that. In fact, there's a guy. His name is Roger Lucy. Roger Lucy. That's one of the guys who actually accommodated me, and he's a white guy, by the way. Well, I would say liberal, because he was a musician. He was studying airfares in Kat, and he was an activist as well. So when I met him in the 80s, Tina Fela, as I'm a musician, growing up with white guys, it's not a problem, unless if we are Mtambe Ekaya, Makaya. But if you grow up in the urban area, connecting with white people,
it's normal.
So Roger Lucy invite ukuthi ngizodlala ebandini yakhe. but it was a rock and roll band. Unfortunately, I have played rock and roll in the 70s with a band, Township. Nabo Tata Sbego, no, Masike Muhapi. I don't know if you know Masike Muhapi. He played with the Harar. No, Dali. Yeah. So, and besides listening to, because we used to listen to, maybe the Springbok radio. Springbok radio, they're playing pop and rock. About Friends Zappa, all those guys. Yeah. So I have a balance musically. I have a balance of different music in my head. I hear different music in my head. That's why even my music, when I play it, I don't just play a genre that is, a stereotype. I try and implement elements. If my head or my heart says no, you need to add some African voices there, or you can add a guitar with a distortion, which is associated with rock distortion, and it is continuously.
Yeah.
Though we jazz now, they are using distortion.
Yeah.
So that's why in now I'm talking about that guy. We trying to do like a what do you call this, a documentary about how we met.
Okay.
In the 70s, because it was hard. I was not supposed to be with them and all that. They want to learn to leo. Being protected, but one for moping. One about Baba Kitchen is a former pass, Marmin and Semotin, Kilna Bilu. So later on, when was it? I think about 3 years back, if not, 3 or 4 years back. Out today. SAPC, after a very long time, maybe 35 years or so. Roger Lucy, no, man, I'm invited here to come and talk about my experience when I was playing with my band, including you. What happened? No, man. You know what? There was this guy, a policeman who was working for secret services as the apartheid. He was sent Uguti azo bulala ibandit. Why? Because the guy was playing rock and roll, but the lyrics that was singing, they were talking about the apartheid.
Okay.
So the secret services, they wanted to dismantle the band. They would use amateur gas and all that, and we didn't know what was going on. So this guy, Uchela, Ulande Ulokunja, Roger Lucy, ngabo 90s, I think late 90s, if ngabo 98 or so. Or Uchela, why confess, you know what? In fact, I was sent by the secret services of South Africa. I should actually do something about you guys, because you are really disturbing. Disturbing the country. So Roger Lucy was, surprised. It means we could have died. Anything. I've got friends who actually died, those days because of that situation. John Foster from third floor. Yeah, I'm talking about people. Every day. So now we went to Ilokunja auditorium, SAPC. So now this white man was there to confess live now. Understand about what was happening.
Yeah.
You know, during that time we were doing those gigs and all that. So he actually confessed and told people what was he doing, bebesilandela yonke lento le yabo. So just in short, the ilokunja biography,
documentary.
A documentary. We tried to do something about that, to connect dots with what was happening, because I stayed with them at some stage. Corner like it was like New York.
Yeah, it was like Sente. Yeah. I remember. I hear all those stories. Good taxi. It was not like what we are seeing now. Yeoville used to be the best place.
So funny enough, the guy who wants to do this thing, he actually approached me about this thing and said, hey, you know, you've got a very interesting story. How about if there's a guy that I work with. In fact, I've been filming a documentary about how music has evolved in South Africa.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I don't have money. You know, as you can see now, DAC. Hey. Kuyabila lapha wazi ukuthi wenzani sipho sithole is there again la kukhona isipho kuyabila njalo yazi angazi kubilani ubona njengamanje awazi ukuthi kuphekweni ngani ngaphakathi
ubona ngentuthu ubona ngestim
nesimele nje sinukayo nje kuphela. So I try to, to approach these people with inyuka. I don't know what is going on. So I then met with this guy, and then he said, "No, man, this is a good story, man. Let's do it." And I remember last year, year before last, my pandemic. I had already arranged with him, and I had actually called the office as in New York, office Paul, because at 2013, I went to propose in Dagoguti, and then but Paul said, hey, if I do this film, it means it doesn't belong to you, man. Your country should do this film, actually. Ish. They are supposed to be responsible doing this film.
I mean, it's safeguarding history. This is actually safeguarding history. So exactly. So there's absolutely no way they can't not want to, fund a thing like this, because I mean, look at the many ties. I mean, if you're talking about even the Lesotho kind of people that, when you're working on that, to how you guys went overseas to America and all of that. I mean, it's a story that we can't let go. We have to preserve, such stories, for the future generations, so that we know. Because I mean, also just to jump in there, if we think about it, what you guys were able to achieve in a time where there was apartheid is crazy, So I mean, if you were able to achieve it then, it means we can also achieve a lot more. But I mean, we will never know if we don't know your stories.
Yeah, but you guys, you have, Nina, it's a paradise.
We don't behave like we're in paradise, because we don't understand, for example, how hard you guys had to work to achieve what you achieved.
I was invited at Berkeley College in 2013. I was in here, I must come and Berkeley College.
Yes.
It's a musical big. I mean, Quincy Jones is from there.
Yeah.
So I was invited.
I'm saying it's world renowned to me.
Yes. I was invited there to come and talk about how I grew up as well, and about my drumming as well. There are people who are doing research about what we do. How do you approach this? We had this. How do you approach your 6/8? Your 6/8 is not like other people. The 6/8 that we know. Yours it's something else. Why do you play your bass drum on end instead of on one? You have to explain those kind of things. And then they asked me that, okay, we know that you've been here in the States, you've worked with a lot of musicians here, and explain how you grew up. So I had to explain, like I'm doing now. So it was a way of showing the younger generation that you guys, you see, you are getting everything, everything, scholarship, all this. This person never even went to a big college to study music, but he made it against all odds. Understand what I'm saying? So that is what I'm saying now, Vusi. Like we are so privileged, especially Konamanje, YouTube, but the thing, what's said about is that musicians here at home, they want to play like other musicians in the States. There are so many musicians who are playing like each other in the States. Yet we've got so much that we could be picking up from. Like and having our own identity, musically. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why you find that why babiza le out le by fly ukuthi hambe yenze session kuphi or kuthola ama tape ukuthi mayenze. Not to say that they're not hearing other drummers, it's because they're hearing something from me that is
unique.
It's hearted,
sure.
My playing, I mean, my approach is it could be different. I mean, I'm not a YouTube drummer.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So a question la uLeroy sengifuna ukungena kula wala bafowethu bangaze bathi mina benginako waba ama questions kuphela waba angiwathintanga. So Leroy Khumalo uthi question number 1, he's got 4 questions. His question is, your collaboration with the youngsters Kwela, Amanda Black, Trezor in M Studios, how was that experience for you getting to work with young blood?
Man, it was great. It was great working with, guys, especially we don't know each other, that kind of thing, we have boxes here at home,
Sure.
But I mean, it's always my wish to work with younger musicians. I'm sure you know that in my last album, I've used a lot of musicians that abanye abantu bebengabasi, because I feel Uti, as I said earlier on, no man is an island. I learn from you, even if you're younger than me. We need to learn from each other.
Sure.
In order to make our music to be unique.
All right. So his question number 2, would it Dusk to Dawn being selected as one of the TBT drama sequences? How did that impact your music and growing it to what it is? Did it channel you to younger listeners or your music?
Oh, I'll tell you something. When I did Dusk to Dawn, I thought I was doing a kwaito.
Okay. Or it was a kwaito song.
I think there was kwaito at that time. And I was like, let me see, what can I do with kwaito,
Sure.
Yeah.
The program drum,
yeah. But I don't know, for some reason, I want to eat shape iron, and I was angry piggies.
Yeah.
Was with piggies. I'm over in which shape iron.
Sure.
It's like when you're painting, because I grew up with painters.
Okay.
Tolukuti painting boyenza botu and Jojo, Tolukuta access or Jojo. So we something else. You end up putting beautiful lines and colors on that. So Mauti wins something ingoma, because naturally ingoma enjalo yabo. Sometimes akumelanga uyiphikise mayisho yona ukuthi
ifuna ukuya kuphi.
Yeah, ifuna ukuya kuphi. Yayibona le nto leyo. Rather make it to sound nice, even if it's taking a different direction. Yayibona into enjalo.
No.
So that was my plan. That was my plan, but I ended up arranging horns that had nothing to do with Maito, except that's all.
Yeah. But also and it works. And
yes, yeah. So fortunately, I flew back from New York to London to come and play that song. And why is it king?
It does, yeah. Hey. So his third question, Uti, your Yamaha endorsement, when did that come about and how were those talks on you getting to learn those brands?
Meeting people, and in fact, it was always my a dream to do an endorsement with Yamaha because Mangala overseas, Yamaha challenge with please if you can give me this drum kit. But unfortunately, guys from Yamaha, they approached me with, hey man, we want you to be part of our stable. Are you okay with it? And I was like, yeah. Of course, and they gave me the best baby, I'm using that baby right now.
So it was great. So basically, you did not present yourself to them; they brought themselves to you.
No, not definitely. They actually came to me.
Yeah, no, that's a nice place to be. It's a beautiful space to be in. His fourth and last question was the Suzuki in Dusk to Dawn. Was it your personal ride, the one with the open top? Yeah.
God, God is something else.
Yeah.
That Suzuki, I always liked Ilokuji Ivita.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for some reason, the guy who's actually a producer, a director for the film, or let's say video, because he's a filmmaker.
Sure.
Fortunately, he's a close friend of mine, So he was like, man, hey man, Vicky, I can see, we used that ride. And immediately after that, for some reason, I bought that car.
Crazy.
That one.
Yeah.
So immediately I would see after a year or that car just presented itself to me.
Just like that.
So when I was driving that car, people thought it's the same car.
No, it's a different one.
Yeah, it's a different one.
Hey, okay, there's another part that he put here. So here's his last question. He says, the horns on Dusk to Dawn, man, hey, are so articulate. Did you arrange that music and write down those parts?
No. You know what? Technology these days is very advanced.
Sure.
Some of the horns that I arrange, I do them on keyboards.
Right? Okay.
I do them on keyboards, and then we just print them.
Sure, true. That's it.
Them,
Yeah.
But fortunately, with that recording, Levi Sienza Estate, because I'm very close to Ukaya Mashang.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, we used to hang out together, a Pelican, and then he would go to Engoya, and I would be, a location in his booth would say we are named out so that we can hang. Because Ukaya, it's music. You listen to music, you play, there's a piano, whatever I wanted. So fortunately, Ukaya ngoba ngangidlala naye kwidondo. You understand? And I felt I must have a taste there like that. That's why I took Utemba Mkhize, no Kaya, no Max, no Fana. They told her no Kanyo. Those 5, I thought this would actually make my sound, to be unique as South African sound. If we internationally, but it must have that taste there, like
all right.
Yeah. So then I asked Ulokunju Ukaya Kaya, the horns are played on keyboard. They know. Can you transcribe them? Young tolerant today.
Sure.
Then one transcribe it. But my horns were arranged already. Because he was part of the horn players that were there. Because we used horn players as London and then Cuban and horn players as well. So he played with giants as well in that.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I know. Yes, Caesar. You see, that's why this whole thing needs a documentary. Because all of these things are, it's big information that we always need to have. There's another question now from Vusi, the drummer. He says, very few drummers are known for making solo albums. What did the man have in mind when it came to his solo projects? Question number 1. And it says, how does he cater for an audience outside a drummer's perspective?
You know what? When I grew up, I used to listen to people like about Billy Cobham. I'm sure you know Billy Cobham.
I know Billy Cobham.
About Billy Cobham. There's lots of drummers in the States who are solo drummers.
Sure.
And so, they're doing gigs. They have their own bands. I always, had that feeling that I would love to do something that is closer to my heart. Yes, it's good to be a sideman, playing with Ubrakati or Ubrayu. But that music, it's more of music that brings a bacon on the table.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you may find that musically we are not on the same wavelength. And that's why sometimes when you play certain things, so you're like a kid in the what you go crash.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of frustration, so it was more like work, that we're doing, of course it was an experience working with them. Understand? Because you get to meet certain people that you wouldn't actually meet. You understand what I'm saying? So, but there is musicians that I've played with them, and I feel like, wow, I'm home now. I'm home. Like Abubra Winston, about Chucho Valdez. I mean, there's so many musicians that I've played with them. Like I feel that, hey, I can express myself. You understand what I'm saying? And there's like, hey, take a solo, man. Or, to understand, but that's nice, man. They want to learn to live. I didn't do it. What's that?
Yeah.
What you see?
Yes,
ngithi mina counter wakho andifaka u1 ngiyamfakeleni u1 now.
Sure.
Nami ngiphethe u1.
Yeah. Hey, no. It's quite interesting. So there's another question here. Maning lama questions now, but sesoqeda ngasikudala. Kahle kahle yayibona ukuthi vele i-documentary yafuneka ngoba buka manje iway yethu is very long because there's a lot of stories, that we all feel like we want to get some more. So I don't know, maybe we'll keep inviting you and just asking some more questions.
Okay.
But there's a question from Utemba Mbomi Wakashabalan. Uti, he's such a great musician. is there any other music? Is there other music instrument he plays besides drums? Well, already you've counted one. Ipego, the trumpet. You've counted two.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that I'm a trumpet player. I used to.
You used to, yeah.
If you've done something and then wayeka for isikhathi esiningi, ungeke uze uthi uyayenza.
Yeah, mawuyayazi.
Yeah, ngiyayazi, and but I know how should a trumpet player articulate himself.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to phrases. You know,
yeah.
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 So I know how to do that. And you know, well, keyboard, I'm not a keyboard player, but I can play chords and extend them. Keyboard playing, but left voice in. But why can't you add, whatever? Yeah,
sure.
So that's how I compose music. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
And
I'm not a keyboard player that can play on stage.
Yeah. No, you can't take a gig on that instrument, but you can play it to set.
But I have a plan.
Okay, you have a plan.
I have a plan. I have a plan all the time.
Okay.
A plan, meaning that I have a plan. Yeah.
Sure. No, Nyagos, I'm with you.
Foundation.
Now. His second question is, what are some of the challenges he encounters when writing or composing music?
Hey, as a musician, that's why I always say that music is like we are not bigger than music.
Sure.
Music, so that's why we need to respect the music, and that is why pray about it. I don't know, maybe we're not the same. Music I respect it. So sometimes my mind frustrated. I think about it and sometimes maybe pray about it. It's God, just give me wisdom to do justice to the song. So things happen. Things happen.
Yeah. His other question is, what are some of the things he considers when choosing musicians to work with him in studio?
What
are some of the things that you consider when you choose musicians that you are going to work with in studio?
Oh, okay. Hey, yes, that one is difficult. I used to play with anyone that I see on the street, only to find that, it's difficult, because mannerism right in the space. You understand what I'm saying? And it's something that I had actually discussed with Ulokuja, Jonathan Butler.
Okay.
We're talking about musicians in general. But why are you not playing with South Africans? You know what? And it's something I knew, but from Buye.
Okay.
But when you play with American musicians or musicians from overseas, when as a leader, they take you serious. Why? Because it's your music, and they want to hear from you. What can they do? And they take their job serious when it comes to that. But one challenge, which is playing with South Africans, I've had problems. And then ngiyazazi ngoba khona abanye abantu yabona futhi njengoba uyidrama ngomunye umuntu sefuna usitshela ukuthi no sengiza arrange music yakho manje and you're like, hey, you know what, I don't want you to play an extended chord when this song might feel like that. Just play a simple major. That's how, that's why we use art esikhathini esiningi basikhuluma music. Art abantu me-draw umuntu mefaka ikhala lapho ufaka lo khala there ayifakile lapho. If it's grey, it's grey. Yabona? So wena mase uyithenga asithi futhi athi ngeke uyenze nomunye umuntu uyenza uyi-one. Fana ne-music, when you compose music, you know exactly what you want. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mawufuna i-bass idlale, you know, 2 notes or whatever, you want that. But omunye umuntu ufuna ubonisa abanye abantu ukuthi ngayidlala kancane. Yabona lo. But you know, it's not supposed. Simplicity is good sometimes. That's why abantu abanjengabo uLokhonja Abdul Ibrahim uDollar Brand. Abantu abanjengalabo uyakwazi ubasota out. Yabona ubebona ukuthi ngathi uyaphapha. Yabona ibhendi ukwenza izinto uyaphapha. Uyabona. Bevele yabona kudlala eshowini. Bevele athi bevele I stop ingoma. I stop ngithi solo.
Ngoba
no, you can go outside and go bakuyeke stage. Bakuyeke stage uzoziphinda uzube embarrassed wena. Yabo. That's how it disciplines people. Yabo.
So
so I mean, so you find those kind of characters ona lolu abantu yabona abangafuna ubumnandi ebhendi kodwa ufuna imali at the same time, and really that really frustrates me.
No, ngizwa kahle. Okay, Prof. Vusi, here's his last question. Uti, as a musician, what are some of the challenges that he faces in the industry? So there's a few that you have said, ama challenges obhekana nawo kwi-industry. I mean, besakhuluma nge-documentary yakho, and I mean funding was an issue. But what are some of the challenges that you face in the industry currently namanje?
There's lots. Challenges that we have now in the industry is when it comes to gigs or promoters, you know, that kind of thing. You find that there are some musicians who do the same gig each and every annually.
Yes.
The same gig, they do the same gig. And you manga, but there's other musicians who deserve that space. Why not? But I know I grew up in this business. You know, I've been here for a long time. Even other promoters, abakona kona manje, bangitholengela. So it's a way of killing other musicians' spirit. You know, if uthi hayi wena yabona sizobiza lo njalo yabona, and okay, it's their choice. You understand what I'm saying? But it hurts other musicians. And now the sad part of it is that you find people saying, yeah, but you're supposed to be here, man. What's going on, man? And how do you answer something like that? You understand? How do you answer? And I want to talk about, hey, man, hey, why is man? But you know, when they want these artists that they want, they call them.
Yeah.
Why should you
Can't
call
they call
them?
Yeah. True.
Why should you call them? When they want somebody in the States, they call him and they even go there. And is not even half of what you can do.
True.
You know, so it's more of killing you know, a musician's spirit. You know, and what's said about it is that now we're on the same platform. Whether we promoter, nobody
we're all so
and then where is your gig? Where is your gig? Where do you promote your gigs? Me, I can go into a session. I'm session or where can you promote your gig? You can't promote.
So the wheels have turned.
So those, I'm a village one day the way koshang upon yung patalang amatola one day. I'm telling you. Yeah, what? But they think we Popeye mokhuluma kanjalo. Because we are all working. Jonathan Pathameza
yeah.
So we know all these tricks. Sikhulele la siyasacindezwa la mabhunu ngesikhathi selukhunja ngesikhathi se-apartheid ngendaba zama-gigs and all that nama-session uyayithola lo nto. So it's still happening still.
Yeah. Yeah. No, ngiyezwa Professor. Sesizovala, what has traveling done for you? Because I know you've done a lot of traveling and you've spoken about some of the things that you've done and the places you've been to. But what has traveling done for you?
What?
Traveling. What has traveling? As far as maybe, when you traveled, what are the things that you feel like, this is what I've learned from traveling?
No, it has actually opened up my scope, big time, because when you travel, you meet people who are open-minded, who understand what is an artist. You understand what I'm saying? Who understand what is an artist and they are living in that culture. They don't take music like they want to like I. They take music serious because music is a serious business.
Sure.
So you find that each treatment is different. Even if in their homes, people who don't actually play music, they have a piano because they know what to do. Umntwana kumele adlale ilokhunja piano because ilokhunja music ikhulisa ingqondo yomuntu.
Sure.
That's why people who are musically banenye ilokhunja intelligence yabo different.
Yeah. Question enye bengifuna ukuyibuza ukuthi do you think that our industry is doing enough to embrace new concepts? Do you think that our industry is doing enough to embrace new concepts? Or is the industry just trying to force everyone, to conform to the same kind of a thing?
Well, like I kunjalo, unfortunately, that's why I'm not saying ukuthi ngaphandle into yama-genre iyenzakala, but each and every genre it has its own audience.
Yeah.
Unlike because if you look at ilokhunja, each genre is serious, or let's say adult music or jazz music, it's an annual. It's how can I say this? A seasonal.
Yeah.
Seasonal industry.
Yeah.
We ask ngaya elokhunja eGrandstown ngoJuly, udlala kwaPeter, then udlale mhlambe elokhunja
Cape Town Jazz.
Yeah.
Cape Town Jazz.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no clubs, there's nothing. When I grew up, there were a lot of clubs, even before ilokhunja pre-94. There were a lot of jazz clubs like Johannesburg. But kwabane democracy, there's no, and it's supposed to be the other way around. You understand what I'm saying?
No, yeah. I understand what you're saying. My second last question is what is your dream for the music industry?
What?
What is your dream for the music industry?
Openness.
Okay.
Yeah, openness. Once wabane openness and having the right people with the good hearts, then the industry is overright. Okay. It's more political more than anything.
Okay.
It's like what is happening with the politics here. Yeah.
It's not honest.
It's not honest.
Okay. Yeah. My very last question is, if you were to go back in time and talk to your 12-year-old self, what advice would you give yourself?
I would say rather let them, because times are different, let them do music, but at the same time, bands show Gucci, they concentrate on something that can put a break on the table, because things are different now. Things are different. I mean, it's so simple as that. You know, if you play piano, just maybe do IT or yabona into njengale.
No, sibonge kakhulu Bravos. Isikhathi sakho sinike sona. I think you've given us more than what we thought you'd give us. You've given us you've been just very open, you know, and spoke from the heart. And I think ziningi izinto esazozifunda. Even people who are going to find them much later. I think this has to be one of my most favorite episodes that we've done. I think also because ngicabanga ngihalela ukuthi man bangithole le time alizwakale lazositshela zonke le indaba yabo. So but I'm very excited that you finally came and that we finally did this. Siyabonga kakhulu.
My pleasure, Lulu. Thank you.
Thank you.